There is a price to pay for seeing the world in high definition. We call it the hidden cost of being a deep thinker. From the outside, you look calm, collected, maybe even a little distant. People see you sitting in silence, and they assume your mind is as still as your body. But silence is rarely empty. For you, every small conversation is a full analysis. Every room has a mood you can't help but feel. Every what if leads to 1,000 different doors. It's a gift, sure. You see patterns others miss. You feel beauty more intensely. But there's a cost that shows up as a heavy kind of exhaustion, a need to disappear, just to hear your own thoughts again. If you feel tired, even when you've done nothing, it's probably because your mind has been everywhere today. Why is it that a 30-minute conversation can leave you feeling like you've run a marathon? To understand the deep thinker, you have to understand sensory processing, sensitivity. Most people have a mental filter that catches about 20% of the world. They hear the words, but they miss the micro-expressions. They see the room, but they don't notice the flickering light or the subtle tension between two people standing by the door. But your filter is wide open. You aren't just listening to what someone says. You're analyzing the tone of their voice, the history of your relationship, and the 3 things they didn't say. Your brain is a supercomputer running 1,000 simulations a second. Psychologists call this high-level integration. It means your brain is constantly connecting new information to old memories. This is the first hidden cost, mental latency. You take longer to respond because you are processing more data. While others are playing checkers, you are playing a 3-dimensional game of chess with every interaction. This supercomputer requires an immense amount of energy. When you are over-processing the world, your nervous system stays in a state of high alert. This isn't just thinking. It is navigating a storm of data every single day. By the time lunch arrives, you've used more mental energy than most people use in a week. There is a specific kind of loneliness that comes with depth. It's the feeling of being an observer rather than a participant. Have you ever been at a party, surrounded by people laughing, and suddenly felt like you were watching a movie? You're there, but you're not there. This creates the second hidden cost, the observation gap. Because you are busy observing the social dynamics and wondering about the why behind human behavior, you often feel disconnected from the now. Deep thinkers often struggle with small talk. It feels like a waste of the limited social energy they have. Why talk about the weather when we could talk about why the primary human emotion is fear? Why talk about work when we could talk about the meaning of purpose? Because you crave depth. Shallow interactions feel like thirst. You leave social events feeling empty instead of full. Not because you don't like people, but because you didn't find the connection your brain was looking for. You aren't shy. You're just waiting for a conversation worth having. And while you wait, you carry the weight of being the quiet one in the room. This complexity follows you into your most intimate spaces. How does a person who needs so much internal space share their life with someone else? For a deep thinker, love isn't about constant activity, it's about parallel solitude. This is the third hidden cost, the burden of choice. You have to choose between your need for solitude and your desire for companionship. But if an introvert or a deep thinker likes you, they won't necessarily want to go out more. Instead, they will start inviting you into their quiet spaces. When they share a thought they've been sitting on for 3 days, or when they send you a song that reminded them of a feeling, that is their version of a grand romantic gesture. They are giving you a map to their inner world. If you are the partner of a deep thinker, understand that their need for alone time isn't a rejection of you. It's a maintenance period. They are clearing out the mental clutter so they can be fully present when they return to you. Love, for the deep thinker, is finding someone who makes the noise of the world go quiet. So, how do we pay the cost? If having a deep mind is so expensive, how do we keep from going bankrupt? The answer isn't to think less. You couldn't do that even if you tried. The answer is to protect the space where those thoughts happen. We must stop apologizing for the evenings we spend alone. We must realize that our social battery isn't a flaw, it's a boundary. When you stop overextending yourself to fit into a loud world, you start to realize that your quietness isn't a burden, it's a sanctuary. Yes, the cost is high. You will feel more, you will notice more, and you will need more rest than the people around you. But the reward is even higher. You get to see the world in high definition. You get to feel connections that others skim over. You get to live a life of depth in a world that is often shallow. Your mind is a quiet place, but it is not an empty one. It is a garden that requires a lot of tending. The exhaustion you feel isn't a sign that something is wrong with you. It's a sign that you are doing something extraordinary. You are taking the chaos of the world and trying to turn it into meaning. Learn to love the silence. Learn to pay the cost without resentment. Because in that quiet, deep space, that is where your strength is hiding.